Welcome, Amazon business owners and soon to be Amazon business owners. This is Tim with ALGO Online Retail. I get to cover a very important topic today, vital to your success, and it's about how to analyze products. What are the steps? What are some mistakes that might happen? So let's go through this. Let me share my screen. I'm going to give you a couple steps that you may want to write down. So let's do this. So there's basically 3 steps you want to go through when you're analyzing products. First of all, you start with a high-level skim. You take a huge list of products and you got to narrow that down to 5, 10, 15, 20, somewhere in that range. Then you'll take that smaller list and you'll do a deep dive analysis is what I call it. Once you're done with that and you've picked a product or maybe 2 products, get a second opinion. It's always good to have someone look over your shoulder, look at your research, and say, hey, I like what you're doing here. Here's what I think you should do. So get a second opinion. All right, so let's kind of dive into this. So step 1, high-level skim. Now, I'm assuming that you already have a supplier that's given you a list of products. If you don't already have a supplier, there are other videos that ALGO has done, that we've done, talking about how to find suppliers. We also do a webinar. There's a little link below you can click on and join me for a webinar that I will be doing live coming up sometime in the next week. But if you have a supplier or several suppliers, then you have a list for them, a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, right? A spreadsheet from your supplier with here's all the products they have. It might be as small as 300, 500, 1,000, a couple thousand products. It might be as large as 100,000, 200,000. I've seen suppliers that have millions of products, right? All right, so you get a spreadsheet. Now you take that spreadsheet and it has all of these products. It has pricing, all this information. How do you take a spreadsheet that say has 50,000 products and narrow it down? If you were doing that manually by hand, 50,000 products, one line at a time on a spreadsheet is going to take you years. So how much time do you really have to spend analyzing products? This should be something that you can mostly do in a session. Sit down, it might take you several hours, but you can mostly do in a session. Okay, so there are some tools out there. They're called analyzer tools. I won't tell you which one to use, but there's analyzer tools out there that will take this spreadsheet and narrow it down to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 products. All right, now you have something manageable that you can do. Okay, step 2, our deep dive analysis. Let me give you a little bit more detail here. So feel free to write these down. This is not a complete list, but just a general guideline. Okay, what I like to do first is profit. How much profit am I gonna make? Now this is where some mistakes can be made. Sometimes people do research and they do other things. What's the competition? What's the sales volume? Am I gated, ungated? They go through everything else on the list and then they crunch the profit and they realize, that's all I'm making? I'm only making $1 on each product. I'm not selling that product. So do the profit first. Now, when I say profit, you need to look at historical profit. So as you look back through your tools, you're most likely going to use, we'll say Keepa, to look at history of buy box. When you look back, look at a low buy box price, a high buy box price in between, right? Look at what your profit's going to be on all those scenarios to make sure that you're going to be happy with the profit you're making. By the way, when you do step 1, if you don't like the profit, boom, you're done. It only took a few seconds, you move on to the next product. All right, step 2, I like to look at competition. Now, when you look at competition, you now know, are you going to be sharing the buy box, rotating the buy box, winning it all the time? Historically, have there been other people sharing the buy box? You can look at that information. All right, BSR, sales volume. We've talked about that in a lot of different videos before here at ALGO. All right, then you got to make sure, am I gated or am I ungated? What's the situation there? Now, this is where you might narrow down to 5 products that look great, and some don't require any gated, any ungated work, right? You're already ready to go. And so then you might choose the one that's easier to do, right? Okay, reviews. I like to look at the reviews. Do some manual counting of reviews to make sure the sales volume numbers you're picking up are accurate. And then at the end of all this, shipping. Now, you already know your shipping situation. Where's your supplier? They're shipping it to Amazon for you, FBA, etc. But I just like to take a moment and say, all right, let's look at the shipping situation. My first order, my second order, is it going to be the same process? Just to kind of take a moment and look at it. Now, there's a lot more deep diving you can do. But I just want to go, on to step 3 here. What's step 3? second opinion, second opinion. You want to have someone double check your work, right? Now that's good anywhere in life, right? Anywhere in life, hey, here's what I'm doing. What do you think? You have a business partner, you have a mentor, you have someone guiding you. A second opinion is always great. All right, so let me just summarize. High level, skim with an analyzer tool. You take your supplier huge list, you narrow it down to a much smaller list. Then you deep dive, analyze that smaller list. You pick a few there, get a second opinion, get a second opinion. Now, depending on your budget, you might be buying more than one product. So pick a few different products, or you might just be buying one, right? Okay, now what I'd like you to do, if all of this sounds great, or some of the things I've talked about you have not heard before, click on the link before. I am doing a live webinar. Get registered. It's 90 minutes long. I will be live, and I'm going to show you a time-tested, proven business model, how to sell on Amazon the right way. Time-tested, proven business model. We'll talk about analyzing products. We'll talk about buy box. We'll talk about all the things that you've heard in this video and much more. And I will be live. I will be live. So 90 minutes. We'll do a question and answer period at the end. I'd love to see you there.